Today's video is a crisp advice about MS application resumes. Let's say it's time for you to submit your MS applications and you will be including your resume along with it. Now here's the problem. Most people will go on internet, pick the advice from there and create the resumes. But remember that most of the resume advice on internet is for job application resumes, not MS admission resumes. Your target audience is admission committee, not these employers. Therefore, you have to treat the MS resume slightly differently. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to tell you two sections which are unique and more important for master's applications. So what are these two sections? Before we jump into that, let us understand the purpose of this resume. The admission committee is going to use this resume to get a quick snapshot of your profile. And what they want to make sure is that you can handle the academic rigor of this program that you're applying to. Now you have sections like projects, experience, extracurricular, which are important, but they do not necessarily tell them how good of a student you can be, right? Now GPA will convey it to some extent, but it cannot do the full job. So what we want to do is we want to supercharge our resume in a way that admission committee has no doubt about your academic capability. This brings me to talk about the two sections I've been referring to, and the first section is related coursework. This section is where you include some of the important and advanced level courses you have taken which are relevant to the program that you're applying to. You can include some of the online certifications as well in this field. Now let's say you're applying to a MS in computer science course, you want to include courses like foundation courses or electives like artificial intelligence, operating systems, advanced databases, whatever are more relevant to your area of interest. But this field becomes even more important for specialized courses like MS in finance or MS in information networking, for example. So let's take a look at two real resumes for these fields. As you can see, this guy is applying for MS in finance, so he wants to highlight his knowledge in the same. So he has included coursework like financial engineering, multivariate statistics, linear algebra, etc., which are quite important skills for MS in finance. Let's take another example from somebody who's applying for MS in information networking. As you can see, the person has included a lot of networking specific coursework in networking topologies, protocols, etc. Now, some people have very long work ex or a lot of projects to talk about and they don't have space to include a full section on this related coursework. In that case, I advise that you include it under your education section itself. So let's take an example. So this person has included some of his coursework within his degree information itself. So you can always do something like that to save space. So this was related coursework section. This section tells the admission committee that you have taken good courses in this field and that you will be comfortably handling the coursework for your master's degree. Now let's come to the second section that I want to talk about, and this is the relevant skills section. Now you might have often seen a section called technical skills in many of the resumes on internet. I feel that is more relevant to tech related resumes. So if you're applying to CS or IT related courses, you can simply call it technical skills, as you can see in these examples. And here you can include your knowledge of programming languages, any software toolkits or frameworks that you're familiar with. But let's talk about the more broader category. Let's say you're applying to some other kind of courses. Then also this section is important. It's not just computer skills, it's the relevant skills which are relevant to the course you are applying. Let's understand with an example. For example, let's look at this guy's resume and he is applying to MIS with a focus on, let's say, project management. So he wants to highlight all the project management related skills he has. As you can see, this guy is talking about project scheduling, strategic planning, project lifecycle management, financial model. All these are keywords and skills very relevant to project management. So he is showcasing his absolute fit for this program. Now you may say that, hey Nistha, I am not very focused in my applications and I do not have a lot of these targeted skill set to flaunt off. In that case, I would encourage you to have a generic section like computer skills, in which you can include the tools or technologies that are relevant to your field that you are familiar with. For example, this guy has included AutoCAD, ChemCAD, Fortran, MATLAB, etc. So I'm sure in today's world you're using a lot of software tools irrespective of the field you are in. So you can include all those in this generic section called computer skills. I feel this section is extremely important because it showcases that you are familiar with these relevant tools and technologies, because they are going to be used in your project assignments as well as exams. And here's an interesting case. They are also taken into consideration when you are being considered for something like a TA-ship or RA-ship. For example, I know a student who got TA-ship just because he knew how to code in COBOL in my days, okay? So it always happens. Sometimes professor is just looking for that right tool, whether you know it or not. For example, NS simulation software was important for me. I had used it, and I think it was one of the factors why I got research assistantship during my master's program. So if you are familiar or well versed with any of the mainstream tools in your area, then you should definitely include those things in this section. So that is how a master's application resume is slightly different from the job application. Please make sure you include these two sections. We have a full LOR and resume masterclass on our portal, which talks about resumes in much more detail. I'm going to add the link in the description box. Check it out if you feel it's relevant. As always, it's a pleasure creating content for you. Please stay subscribed for more stuff coming up on our channel. Please give us your feedback and suggestions in the comment box below. And I will see you next week. Take care.